Why would a suburban queen order the slaughter of a man's beloved dogs just to keep her neighborhood picture perfect? That's the question that haunted Tom Harper as he sat bolt upright in bed at 3:07 a.m., yanked from sleep by screams that weren't human. His heart jackhammered in his chest as the frantic barking of his 3 greyhounds Star, Bolt, and Willow tore through the night, followed by a sharp, brutal crack. Not thunder. Not fireworks. Something far worse. Tom didn't know it yet, but in the next 5 minutes, his world would shatter, all because a woman named Linda Prescott decided anything that didn't fit her vision of perfection was a pest worth killing. 6 months earlier, Tom had pulled into Pine Hollow with a rented U-Haul, his greyhounds snoozing in the back seat, chasing a dream of quiet after years of racing trophies and adrenaline. A cozy house, a big backyard, morning jogs with his dogs, maybe a few beers with neighbors on Sundays. It sounded like heaven. But cracks in that dream appeared before he even signed the deed. A woman approached, all sharp smiles and pastel polish, clutching a clipboard and a glossy welcome packet. Linda Prescott, Pine Hollow HOA president, introduced herself with the kind of charm that felt like a warning, her crisp white shirt screaming control freak louder than her words. Tom, bone-tired from the move, half listened as she rattled off rules about lawn heights, mailbox colors, and some new neighborhood cleanup plan. He nodded, assuming pests meant rats or raccoons. Not, leafy-wying, breathing creatures with souls. The first HOA meeting was a wake-up call to how unhinged suburban life could be. Held in a beige community center that reeked of stale coffee, Linda wielded her gavel like a dictator at a war trial. Her PowerPoint flashed blurry photos of animal tracks, a raccoon or two, and one shot that might have just been a neighbor's mutt. Her voice dripped with fury as she railed about pests tanking property values and ruining Pine Hollow's aesthetic. Then came the bombshell. The HOA had hired Critter Colors Incorporated, a private outfit with a motto that chilled Tom's blood. If it moves, we end it. When Tom muttered, "Sounds more like a hit squad than pest control," a few neighbors chuckled nervously, but Linda's smile tightened, her eyes slicing through him. He brushed it off as suburban weirdness, like those tacky lawn flamingos or passive-aggressive holiday light wars. He had no clue how deadly serious Linda was. The neighborhood changed fast. No birds chirped at dawn. No squirrels darted along fences. When Tom let Star, Bolt, and Willow out for their evening runs, he started spotting shadows, men in camo, slinking through bushes with tranquilizer guns like snipers. He called the HOA to complain, but a chipper receptionist named Stacy took his name and hung up faster than a spam caller. The night before it all went to hell, the sky hung heavy with storm clouds, the air thick with ozone. The dogs were antsy, pawing at the door. Tom let them out, figuring they'd burn off energy. They tore into the dark, wild and free, like they hadn't been in weeks. He was pouring a glass of water when the first panicked bark split the air, followed by the pop-pop of dart guns and yelps that ripped his heart in two. The glass shattered on the kitchen floor as he sprinted outside, barefoot, into a nightmare. His dogs lay crumpled on the grass, tongues lolling, eyes glassy. Star's sleek frame, Bolt's powerful legs, Willow's gentle face all broken, poisoned. A Critter Colors guy tipped his cap from behind a fence and vanished. No apology. Just business. The cops, called in Tom's panic, parroted the HOA's line. Wild animal incident. Tragic but legal. Linda sent a 4-sentence condolence email, cold as ice. That night, something in Tom snapped. The quiet life he'd craved was gone, replaced by a rage so sharp it felt like a blade. By sunrise, Tom wasn't just grieved, nay was hunting answers. The neighborhood had shifted overnight. Doors slammed shut when he passed. Whispers stopped cold. Kids stayed close to porches, and Critter Colors signs sprouted like weeds. Pine Hollow wasn't just a suburb anymore. It was Linda's fiefdom, and Tom was the enemy. He started jogging slowly, eyes peeled, spotting traps disguised as garden lights or rocks, one even inside a neighbor's yard. Illegal, no question. Passing Linda's house, he saw her sipping a smoothie, smug as ever. He wanted to smash her window but held back. he needed a plan. While fake mowing his lawn, Tom recorded 2 colors guys in a black van, rifles in hand, tossing powder along a fence and setting a snare under a bush. Over days, he caught them sneaking into yards at night, dragging limp-shaped raccoons, possums, who knew, into their van. No one else seemed to care. Linda had sold them on the colors as SAVYORs. Then came the break. Hiding near Linda's side yard one night, Tom overheard her arguing with a man, a color, who sounded fed up. "Taking out pets wasn't the deal," he growled. Linda's voice was venom. "They're pests if I say so. You want paid? Do it. No one's gonna miss a few mutts." Tom's fists clenched so hard his nails drew blood. This wasn't negligence. Linda had ordered his dog's deaths. He needed proof, hard, undeniable proof. But Linda struck first. A DULA 1000 fine arrived, citing noise from the night his dogs died, their final cries weaponized against him. That evening, cops showed up, tipped off about an illegal breeding operation. They found nothing, but neighbors watched, judging, as Tom stood humiliated on his porch. Linda wasn't just fighting him, she was erasing him. He knew he couldn't win alone. Enter Mrs. Vargas, a 75-year-old widow with a hacker's past too wild for suburbia. When Tom told her everything, she cracked her knuckles and grinned. "Let's torch their empire." Tom's Levying room became a war room, littered with neighborhood maps and a laptop humming as Mrs. Vargas dug into the HOA server. Within hours, she'd cracked it, unearthing a folder labeled Special Operations. Receipts showed Critter Colors had no license, fines for cruelty in multiple states, and payments authorized by Linda alone, funneled from HOA dues into a beautification slush fund. Emails between Linda and the Colors boss, a creep named Vince Russo, were worse. She didn't just want strays gone, she wanted anything, ugly, exterminated, pets included. Tom's head spun. Linda wasn't just corrupt, she was a suburban tyrant in pearls. They needed a knockout blow, something public and unspinnable. Tom set up hidden cameras, baiting Colors with fake food bowls. Within days, he caught them planting poison in his yard. Mrs. Vargas edited the footage into a damning reel, backed up across clouds. Tom played nice, attending HOA events, asking subtle questions. Why so many colors? Where's their license? Why no playground repairs despite higher dues? Neighbors started whispering. Linda noticed, hitting back with a neighborhood watch of nosy loyalists and 3 more fines for nonsense like overgrown shrubs. Then she went nuclear, a foreclosure notice for DULA 15,000 in unpaid fines. Tom's heart pounded. This was war. Mrs. Vargas had a plan. Using Linda's hacked email, she called an emergency HOA meeting, then sent every resident the footage, receipts, and Linda's emails, plus an invite. The morning of Pine Hollow buzz, neighbors clumped on sidewalks, lawnmowers abandoned. At the meeting, Linda, in a lemon-yellow suit, tried to start with her usual gavel thwack, but Tom plugged a USB into the projector. Her emails flashed up, demanding, "VY soul disturbances. Be killed." Gasps filled the room. Then the VY Deo, Colors trespassing, setting traps, hauling dead animals. Linda's face went gray, her gavel slamming as she screamed about illegally VY Denke. But the final blow was Mrs. Vargas's cleaned-up audio of Linda sneering. "No one'll miss a few mutts." Silence crushed the room. When cops, tipped by media, cuffed Linda for embezzlement, fraud, and cruelty, she didn't fight. Tom watched, a spark of peace flickering inside him. The fight wasn't his alone anymore. The next morning, Pine Hollow felt lighter, like it could breathe. Linda's arrest was plastered across news, her mugshot a local scandal. At a new HOA meeting, a nervous accountant, Greg Wilson, proposed suspending the HOA, freezing fines, and banning colors. Residents clapped cautiously. Greg handed Tom a folded apology from neighbors, which he pocketed unread. Words couldn't bring back Star, Bolt, or Willow, but maybe they could build something new. Weeks later, Pine Hollow softened. The playground got fixed, paint rules vanished, and people really talked. Tom, now a quiet hero, wanted one last tribute. On a crisp Saturday, he led a Greyhound Memorial Parade for his dogs. It exploded into a community event, with rescue greyhounds, food stalls, and hundreds cheering. Tom carried banners for Star, Bolt, and Willow, flanked by his new rescues Comet, Nova, and Scout. They weren't replacements, but a new start. At a stone monument engraved, "For all who run free." He tied his dog's collars red, blue, green and looked at the crowd, the wagging tails, the hope. Mrs. Vargas, blasting music and a feathered hat, danced like a general. Tom didn't cry. He felt full healing. That night, sipping beers with Mrs. Vargas, Tom watched kids laugh and squirrels chatter. Pine Hollow was alive again. The pain of loss lingered, but so did what he'd gained, a community worth fighting for, a place to belong, a place to run free. Linda's kingdom was dust, and Tom Harper had won.